So to me, this particular play all comes down to the rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. Like, that's what it's about, the lesson that Prospero has to learn, that he begins, I think it's totally his story, and everything else is happening too, and other characters have, like Caliban has a beautiful arc, and certainly Miranda does, and, well, they all do. The idea that Prospero, in his very first speech, mentions his project. And in the epilogue, he mentions his project. So he's had this project brewing for 12 years. And at the very end, he says, it's done. We're done. I'm going home. It's all done. But what I feel like, and I have never answered the question thoroughly, and neither has Mark, to my knowledge, who's playing Prospero. What exactly was his end game? Like, was he going to kill them all? You know, or what? We don't know. But it was definitely not forgiving them. That was not in his plan. And through the help of Ariel, Prospero checks into his humanity. Through the help of Ariel, and especially in this production, the love of his daughter, his devotion, everything he says he does for her, he realizes he has to forgive them. So I feel like that turning point in the play is really important, and that is the message for our time, is because, tell me, like, if I asked you to name 20 movies about vengeance, you could. If I asked you to name 5 about forgiveness, it's really hard. So, and yet, how else are we ever really going to achieve peace, or how even individual peace is what we see here? He comes to a place where even he says, you know, his brother, to speak the word would infect his mouth. I forgive you. And he really does. I believe him. I think they're not going to go back to Millen, and he's not going to poison his brother. He's really going to set him up and take care of him, and that's what he has learned. So I feel like theater, as the three-dimensional art that it is, it's our advantage over most other forms of entertainment, as in television or film or watching videos on your phones, is that contact and connection with the audience. So, and how to create a threshold into which people make that transition of like, whoa, this art is happening all around me and I'm a part of it. That's always my goal with Shakespeare. And with some plays are easier to do that with. Like, it's harder if you're doing Othello or something, then all you really can have are soldiers around, which make people uncomfortable. So having these airy spirits, the original concept was just like the entire arena is the island. And so that everybody kind of felt like they landed in this strange place, just like the characters. I wanted to create some empathy there. And having spirits come up, or that weird, like somebody's watching me and you turn around and they're right behind you or whatever. I really like that through rehearsal, I had the spirits interacting with the actors a whole lot more. So they would get that uneasiness or that, what are you? I don't know. You look like a giant bug or something. So creating just that sense of wonder, meaning I wonder what is going on here. That's just, I feel like, a great place for you to be in to receive theater, rather than just sitting passively or, and then if you don't like it, like what I tend to sit way in the way back and watch it all, which I really love watching that kind of interaction. I love to see how is the audience playing along tonight. How into the opening Tempest do they get? Are they actually making the rain? You know, and I keep trying to get them to make the waves, and we haven't achieved that yet. But I've got one more weekend here in Nashville. So for the ship to sail in on, I kept imagining like if the whole audience is making waves, it would look really cool as the ship came in. But the whole audience is like going like this, and then they're going, what? That's a boat, and so they're kind of, they go up on their part, they miss their cue. But that also, on the completely like the backstage view of having the spirits interacting, is it gives them a whole lot more to do and a whole lot more to play, and to sustain their characters through the whole process is great for them, and they get fed. So it's a whole lot of incentive just to keep our young people really, really engaged. Otherwise, they have no lines in this show. They have a couple of songs, but and a dance or two, but there's not as much for them to do. So I just wanted to keep the whole place alive. And so since there at One City we have no backstage at all, having them sort of dart through and up and around and peep around, just you get that idea that there is life everywhere, and that you don't always know what it is, but it's fun. So, well, you have an island that's magical. I mean, it's a magical place, and it's really hard to create an alternative reality where that kind of magic is normal.
Yeah.
So that, I feel like, tilts you in a whimsical direction already. Honestly, budget can really limit things. Like that ship that sails through the audience at the top of the show is as low rent ship as you could possibly create. But that's where the audience's imaginations have just you got to look at those people carrying PVC and plastic and go, oh, that's a ship, And that's great, because imagination is really what we all need to be exercising, to watch this kind of theater anyway. So, yeah. Then that took us in the direction of like using Renaissance-based costumes for the court and not just contemporary looks. So once you get heading in the whimsical direction, your wonderful and beautiful things can happen. Yeah. But reality can keep you rooted in a way that we probably would have found other themes to explore, or certainly other moments that were less whimsical.
Yeah.